Gypsy's in the chat. Hey girl, you should still be locked up. I said it. I said what I said. I believe that. I think she knows that. She should still be behind bars. You should still be behind bars for what you did to your mother and for what the life you took away from that Nick guy. It's really 2 murders, right? She's responsible for 2 murders.
Probably some kind of group within our church. I think that would be really insightful and with what is take see on social or I know so
ask yourself, and I'm talking to you, Nina. I'm talking to you, Morbid. I'm talking to Ash Too Trippy. I'm talking to Conspiracy. I'm talking to every single creator that has ever made Gypsy content.
You should still be locked up.
Something I think a lot of us need to hear sometimes is this: healing is not linear.
Linear? Linear. Girl, that's what your eyeball is doing. It's linear, as in line. Like the one you got going across your forehead from that wig. But go on.
Just coast, just coast.
Just coast, just coast, just coast, just coast. Just coast.
Welcome to the show.
Go on.
Sometimes it takes years to find who we are. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It could take small things in small ways to push us to the direction that we want to be in our lives. But at the end of the day, as the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Experience trauma. Trauma is not something that you can necessarily get over. It stays with you for the rest of your life. That in itself is, think of it as a scar, as an invisible scar that doesn't go away.
She doesn't even look like she enjoys what she's talking about. She's like, that scar, it's a scar. Look at the look on her face. Anything that she's talking about, she can't even believe it herself. She looks disgusted.
It could fade with time and with therapy, but scar is still there. And there'll be days that are your good days. There'll be days that are your bad days. There'll be days that you say, I am healed, I am good, and I am going to push on with my life.
When? I am healed, I am good, and I'm going to push on with my life? Shit. Can't wait for that day.
But that's not how it works. Because there's also triggers, and all these things factor into the timeline of healing. Whenever you're healing from trauma, you're trying to work on something that initially can't be seen. You are working within yourself to heal within yourself. And when that happens, you can't actually see the physical healing. It's something that you have to experience. I recently went through a...
So you can't see the physical healing. Is that what you're saying? The physical healing you can't see. You mean the emotional healing? Just checking.
I recently went through a situation where I was the confidant of someone actively going through abuse.
Oh, if you
and
were.
I didn't realize that would be a trigger for me. I personally don't like labels. I never have, and I don't think I ever will. As someone who has labeled many things on the internet, I just feel like the terms survivor and victim are both pointing arrows to the abuse that they experienced. Because so often, I can speak for myself, I know that I don't want to be called victim. I don't want to necessarily be called survivor.
Well, the good news is you aren't. There's no one that I know that's calling you a victim or a survivor.
I just want to be just Gypsy. I want to be loved, seen, and heard for who I am and not have my past define who I am today.
But are you sure? Because, I mean, not too long ago, you wanted to be Demona, Kitty, Candy, Ruby, Emma, fucking shitface. I mean, are you sure? You sure? You sure you just want to be Gypsy? Because we all wish you just be Gypsy and go on and get, really.
So the one thing that I am leaving behind this year is the need to explain myself and my past, because the fact is, no one needs access to my thoughts, my emotions, or my healing.
Okay. What the fuck are you doing a podcast for? And by the way, how are you going to make a podcast if we don't have access to your thoughts? Oh, because nothing you ever say is actually what you're thinking. It's just a bunch of bullshit that you made up or plagiarized from a book, right? Or got from ChatGPT. It's going to be kind of hard, though, to make a podcast without access to your thoughts, you would think. And it's funny because all these other posts that you just made are quite literally about everything you just said that you don't want to talk about. So, okay, but I'm listening.
And that is something that I am learning to put in God's hands and let go of what I can't control. And that is something that I think resonates with so many people, is we all try to make our life happen for us.
Girl, who's we? I know you're not talking about me. Don't you ever talk about me. I'm just curious, who is we?
The way that we would want it to be. And what I have come to understand is that God is going to do things in His timing, not ours. And it takes patience and faith to know that He has a bigger plan than what we have for ourselves.
Oh, okay. Or are you actually telling us, the we, that you want us to have patience and faith when it comes to you and your healing? Is that really what you're saying? I have a funny feeling that's really what you're saying, but go on with your bad wig.
So often in our life, I think we try to fit things to make it happen. We push and we push and we push and we strive to make something happen in our life that may not be the
Girl, you just be trying to fit dicks in your mouth. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't.
best thing for us at that time or at all. And that's something that, we are taking our own lives and trying to make our own path and say, no, this is how our life needs to be. And really, it's not really up to us. And that's something for us as a humanity to sort of let go and put it in His hands and say, you know what? This is bigger than me. I feel like your plan is more than what I could have ever hoped it would be. Things might be a little rough right now in that season of your life if you're going through a hardship right now. And
So I just been doing it all wrong, like trying to survive and live and make money to be able to, have a house, decorating my home in the way that I want to decorate it and sort of like guiding myself into the life that I want to live. But I've just been doing it wrong this whole time. Is that what you're saying? I should just be sitting around all willy-nilly, farting around, just going, well, I don't know what I'm doing today or I don't know. I'm not even going to take the trash out. I'm not even going to take the trash out this week. You know what? If God wants the trash out, He can take the damn trash out Himself. Is that what she's saying? I think that's what she's saying.
it is just something that, maybe your family, maybe your friends, maybe your loved one, your partner, whoever is just sort of not measuring up right now.
Well, of course they're not. No one's as good as you. No one's as good as you. Our partners, our friends, and our family aren't measuring up. That is wild to say.
You are at your bottom. You're at your bottom.
Excuse me.
You feel like everyone's letting you down.
Talk about my bottom.
And the only person that you have in your life is God. And that is exactly when you need to release everything to Him. And you really need to let go of what you think your plan is for yourself and give it to him and let his plan work out for you.
Okay. Linear, huh? You know, up in here, not only am I a nosy ass bitch, but I'm also kind of like a petty, resourceful, nosy ass bitch. So here's what I did. So I said, what's the definition of linear? Core definitions of linear. And it gave me all the subjects that you would use that word in. I said, has that word ever been used professionally in psychology? And it said, yes, the term linear has been used professionally in psychology, most often in two major contexts: cognitive styles, linear thinking, and perception, linear perspective. Linear thinking in psychology. Definition: a cognitive style where problems are approached in a step-by-step logical sequential manner. Professional use. In cognitive psychology, linear thinking is studied as a structured way of processing information, emphasizing cause and effect relationships and orderly progression of thoughts. In clinical practice, therapists sometimes rely on linear frameworks to help patients break down complex emotional or behavioral issues into manageable steps. Well, that sounds beneficial to me, Gypsy. Contrast, often compared to nonlinear or divergent thinking, which is interesting, right? Which emphasizes creativity, abstraction, and making connections across unrelated ideas. Linear perspective in psychology. Definition: a monocular depth cue in visual perception where parallel lines appear to converge at a vanishing point, helping the brain judge distance and depth. Professional use. Extensively studied in perceptual psychology and, I don't know this word, Gestalt, I'm probably saying that wrong, theory, as a key mechanism for how humans interpret spatial orientation and depth in two-dimensional images. Used in experimental research with eye tracking and neuroimaging to understand how the brain processes visual information. Key takeaway: in psychology, linear is not just a casual term. It has formal professional usage in describing both cognitive processes and visual perception mechanisms. It often appears in contrast with nonlinear approaches, highlighting different modes of thought or perception. How is it used in trauma healing therapy? In trauma therapy, linear usually refers to structured step-by-step approaches that guide recovery in a predictable sequence rather than jumping around or processing memories chaotically. How linear frameworks appear in trauma healing. The triphasic model. Judith Herman, 1992. Phase 1, safety and stabilization. Establishing emotional and physical safety, building coping skills. Well, that sounds beneficial. That sounds legit. Phase 2, remembrance and mourning. Gradual structured processing of traumatic memories. I mean, if that doesn't sound like something that you actually want to incorporate into your traumatic healing, I don't know what does. Phase 3, reconnection, integrating trauma into life narrative, rebuilding relationships and identity. This model is explicitly linear, moving step by step so survivors aren't overwhelmed. Evidence-based therapies, APA guidelines. So, the full legit. Cognitive processing therapy, CBT, and prolonged exposure, PE, follow linear protocols. Patients progress through modules or exposure hierarchies in order. Trauma-focused CBT also uses a sequential structure: psychoeducation, relaxation, cognitive restructuring, then trauma narrative work. Clinical rationale. Trauma destabilizes regulation systems. A linear approach ensures capacity building first, then memory work, then reintegration. This prevents re-traumatization and gives survivors a clear roadmap. Linear models are foundational in trauma therapy because they provide predictability and safety. Survivors often benefit from knowing therapy has a clear beginning, middle, and end, which restores a sense of control. So in trauma healing, linear isn't just a descriptive word. It's a professional framework guiding therapy towards stability, memory integration, and reconnection. Debunking the statement, healing isn't linear. The phrase is popular, but it's not technically accurate in clinical psychology or trauma therapy. It's more of a comforting slogan than a professional description of how healing actually works. A strong debunking rests on 3 points. Most evidence-based trauma therapies are linear by design. Structured trauma treatments follow sequential, step-based protocols. These models are intentionally linear because the nervous system needs stability before memory processing, and integration cannot occur before processing. A predictable sequence is what prevents re-traumatization. If healing weren't linear, these therapies wouldn't work. The process is linear even if the experience feels messy. People confuse subjective emotional fluctuation with the structure of healing. Emotions fluctuate, symptoms spike and settle, triggers appear unexpectedly. Oh, that's what Gypsy was talking about. Maybe she does know what she's talking about. But fluctuation does not mean the healing process lacks structure. It means the person is moving through a linear framework while experiencing non-linear emotions. The path is linear. The feelings along the path are not. So the healing needs to be linear, even though you're a hot mess. Healing isn't linear, ignores developmental and neurological realities. The brain heals through sequential memory reconsolidation, stepwise skill acquisition, progressive nervous system regulation, graded exposure, incremental cognitive restructuring. These are linear biological processes. Neurons don't heal in random order. Skills don't develop in random order. Trauma memories don't integrate in random order. The mechanism of healing is linear, even if the phenomenology feels chaotic.
So you can run and tell that, homeboy.
The phrase is often used to excuse avoidant or stalled healing. Wow! The phrase is often used to excuse avoidant or stalled healing. If Gypsy is in therapy for real, I wonder if her therapist has said to her, like, you're not on a linear path, right? And she's so narcissistic that she took it as like, that's right, I'm not. Like, that's what she's supposed to be doing. No, bitch, you're doing it wrong. Like, you're thinking wrong. This is the uncomfortable truth. So the phrase, healing is not linear, is often used to excuse avoidant or stalled healing. And all she ever talks about is, well, this year I'm going to give it to God, and I'm thinking about doing this, and I thought, I want to get my shit together, and I want to start growing, and I want to go to church, and I want all that bullshit that she talks about want to be doing, but really she just sits back and does absolutely nothing but fucking hang out with Brie and purchase bots to compliment her on her page. This is the uncomfortable truth. Ain't it? Ain't it, Gypsy? Ain't it? It's just so uncomfortable, isn't it? Oh, you gotta love it. People sometimes use healing isn't linear to justify regression, avoidance, lack of progress, staying in dysregulation, not engaging in structured treatment. But in clinical practice, avoidance is the number one maintaining factor of trauma symptoms. A linear model is what pulls people out of avoidance. Girl, you need to be getting in the linear model. You need to incorporate linear into your healing. You need your healing to be linear, is what this is saying. You're doing it all wrong, which, none of us are surprised. A more accurate statement, if you want a precise, psychologically valid version, healing is a linear process with non-linear emotional experiences. That captures both the structure and the human reality. So, Gypsy, in the future, if you're going to bullshit people, don't try to bullshit me, because I will call you out. It's one of my favorite things to do. You know what I mean? It just is. I just love calling people out on their bullshit. Did y'all know about this? Y'all probably know everything. Y'all are so smart. But I wanted to read it to you because I think it's wild. So this is a police report that was in the case files, and I think it's kind of funny. Okay. So this was August 21st of 2010. Okay. It's a police report involving a guy that works at Domino's. Okay. And so it says the victim's name. I'm not going to read it because I don't want to dox anybody. But so it has the victim's name, and he's a white male who was born in 83. And the suspect is Dee Dee. Okay. The nature of injury is red marks on neck. The report is, I contacted the dude at Domino's Pizza in reference to an assault. The dude advised me he contacted Dee Dee at her address to deliver a pizza. Dee Dee attempted to pay for the pizza with a gift certificate from an out-of-state franchise. Blanchard became upset with, well, his last name's Graham. So Blanchard became upset with Graham over the situation when he turned around to depart with the pizza and grabbed him from behind by the shirt collar, leaving red marks, which I observed on the right side of his neck. He stated employees at the business have had problems with Dee Dee in the past, and his description of her confirmed her identity by my past encounters with Blanchard. Graham stated he did not wish to pursue charges regarding the situation, however, wished a report to be generated due to past incidences with Blanchard to substantiate the incident to store management. I provided him a case number and contact information to the sheriff's office and then returned to service. So Dee Dee tried to pay with an out-of-state gift card, and he wasn't taking it. They didn't accept it, and so she got so mad and grabbed him by the back of the collar and caused red marks and scratches on him. And they said she's a big old problem at the Domino's place. That's wild. That's wild. I just thought that was kind of funny. What else do I have for you guys? Oh, this is just the police report for the burglary. This was barely 2 months before she died. At her house, she called the cops. She had prescriptions and money stolen. You guys already know about this. Upon my arrival, the above address, I made contact with the reporting party and victim, Dee Dee Blanchard. Claudina said that she had gone to Walmart yesterday at approximately 1900 hours. Claudina on 4/17/2015 at approximately 1900 hours. Dee Dee stated that when she left her residence, she left the front door unlocked. Dee Dee advised me when she arrived home at approximately, she found her medications and $56 in cash were missing from the kitchen table where she left it. Well, I wonder who did it. I mean, come on. Dee Dee stated there were approximately 90 pills of hydrocodone stolen and approximately 75 pills of alprazolam. When I questioned Dee Dee about why she waited so long to call 911, she stated she didn't know what to do. Dee Dee had staged the table in the kitchen like she said it was when she arrived home and found the medications and money missing. I took photographs of the residence and the area where the items were stolen. There were no signs of forced entry on the home. The photographs will be placed in the patrol picture file under. I asked Dee Dee if she knew of any possible suspects, and she stated she did not. I did not dust for fingerprints or swab for DNA due to the length of time that had passed since the time of occurrence. So my question is, was Gypsy with her at Walmart? Because if she wasn't with her at Walmart, would she just be like, oh yeah, someone broke into the house while Gypsy was there? That doesn't seem logical, right? I just think it's kind of confusing. So it's like either Gypsy went with her to Walmart and someone really did legitimately break into their house, which I find hard to believe, or Gypsy didn't go with her to Walmart and Gypsy stole the shit and she knows Gypsy stole the shit, but she's making the report as though she doesn't know that Gypsy stole the shit. For whatever reason, she would do that. Did you guys read about this This was Nick's profile for Christian dating for free. I don't understand why he would talk about another girl, but my best friend is Angie, which is more like a sister to me, even though we aren't related. But I am mainly one who is caring, trustworthy, sweet, lovable, honest, and extremely loyal. Yes, I can be a bit much to handle, but that is just a natural part of my personality, meaning be kind of stubborn, but overall, as long as I am in a good mood, I have a golden heart for people as I try to help anyone I can. So most of the time, I am in a good mood. I do show selflessness almost all of the time. So much that yes, I'll admit it. I'm not one to ask for much. I just have a great date. Just to have a great date. All I would want is just a simple one. Nothing too fancy or expensive. Just one where we go out, have a good time, and be low budget. Besides, what I would care for the most in a date is the conversation in it. That to me is what makes the best out of it. Besides, if we do anything together as well. So maybe a walk on the beach or in the park, something that don't require much money, just give us a chance to get to know each other even more than we probably would have. Wow. Okie dokie. Editing Jesse here. I wanted to say about the part in his bio where it said, I try to help out anyone that I can, I think was probably what caught Gypsy's attention. And that's what made her pursue him, besides the fact that everything else he said was like, oh, I'm sweet and kind and da-da-da. And she thought, oh, that's the perfect victim. He wants to help. And of course, she was looking for help to kill her mom. He's looking for a marriage partner. He wants children. Yeah, his description is, well, my best friend is Angie, which is more like a sister to me, even though we aren't related. That is so weird. Look at Gypsy when she was a baby. She hasn't changed a bit. I forget where I got it, where I heard it from. It was her debunking the Barney theory, right? That she put the Barney doll on Dee Dee's bed before she and Nick left the house that night, right? She's like, no, the thing that happened was my mom came in my room that night that Dee Dee had gone into her room and was like, hey, do you have any laundry you want me to do? And she was like, sure. So she got her laundry together. I mean, what a horrible mother. What kind of a mother goes into their child's room and asks, do you have any laundry that you want me to wash for you? When you're 20 something years old and you should be able to wash it your damn self. Anyway.
My mom came in my room and asked me if there was any laundry that she wanted me to do. And I said, sure. So I gave her my basket of laundry, and in the basket of laundry was the Barney doll. Whenever she did the laundry, she would always dump all the laundry on her bed. And that's how the Barney doll ended up on her bed.
So apparently that's how the Barney doll ended up on her bed. Okay, my question is, if that's true, why is the basket in the bathroom with what kind of looks like Dee Dee's dirty clothes? That's the razor that Gypsy was using to shave her legs that night. And, hold on, wait for it. Why would the Barney doll be on her bed because she was saying like, oh, she took it, like that's how it ended up on her bed because like she dumps all the laundry on the bed to sort it or whatever. And so that's why the Barney doll was on her bed. But yet here's the laundry that was in the washing machine that night, because these are pictures from evidence. And in the laundry, there's a little stuffed animal. There's a little Mickey hand. You can see it right there. You see it right there. But mainly right there. It's a little Mickey hand, which means she obviously doesn't care about washing stuffed animals with the laundry. I just found that interesting. So, who knows what that really means? You know, I'm just going to say this. I mean, I don't mind getting on here and dissecting evidence and going through files. It's not going to change anything. I think that all of these files and all these videos and everything becoming exposed, I would hope that it puts a microscope on her as far as like child services is concerned, because I do think that there should be an awareness now. At least there should be some sort of like a precaution about her. I mean, just her murdering her mother and her coming up devising the whole plan and then actually executing it should be a red flag and should be something that they are taking into account as far as keeping an eye on her as a mother. I would hope that like there's things like CPS that get involved. I feel like she shouldn't be off parole. I feel like she should be on parole at least. I mean, there's nothing that can send her back to prison right now as far as like something that she's done right now. But if she was on parole, she would have to be minding her P's and Q's. She would have to be reporting to somebody. And I think that that would keep her on her toes and at least keep an eye. I think that would at least bring in some sort of a process where they would be able to keep an eye on Aurora a little bit closer. But I will say this. So as much as I like going through her case files and pointing out all the bullshit, I'm not going to get up here and spread rumors. When it all boils down to it, she's a liar. You know, we all know it. All the lies that Gypsy tells. Like, I think it's hilarious. I hope she continues to lie, and I can't wait for her to make this podcast. I want to react to all of her episodes. I don't know who the hell she thinks that she's podcasting to, but girl, there's no one that you can speak to. I don't want to live on a planet where there's a person out there who's actually going to go to Gypsy Rose's podcast and listen to anything she has to say, genuinely listen to her and take advice from her. I don't want to live on a planet with people like that. No. I just don't. I don't come from that planet. No. If you have seen one of these videos and heard any of her lies on the internet, which is not hard to do, and you are still a supporter of hers, there's something wrong with you, and I do not want to share air with you. I just don't. But what I'm not going to do is get up in here and just spread rumors, you know? Yeah. I'm not going to get involved with that. I don't appreciate other content creators who spread rumors. I'm starting to go through the files, and I do find it interesting, like when I find things, but these are probably things that y'all already know about anyway. I just don't know because I haven't been into it like everybody else has. So now that I have the files and I'm going through them, there's just some things that I'm going to make videos about that I just personally find interesting. So that being said, there's more that I want to do in this video. It's just that, like, I'm telling you, man, my shit is so unorganized. Oh, I ordered that knife, the one that Nick used. It's actually a really badass filleting knife. It's actually a really nice, KVD is a really popular fishing supply company. That's who makes the knife. So I ordered one. Like, we've all seen the interview that, you know, when they interviewed Nick Godejohn and everything right after it happened when they first got arrested. But when you read it without watching him and listening to him, and you just read the text of it, it's so scary. It's scary. It's like, it's disturbing and scary all at the same time. And when you read like the text messages that they sent each other back and forth before it happened, and like their mindset, and then you see the videos of Gypsy getting all excited about him and she's getting so excited for this to happen, and it's truly, truly disturbing. So I've already made some music for it, and I'm gonna do like those shows where they're like, oh, sit down and read a story with me, and they're in a big old leather chair with a pipe. They're reading stories in a smoldery room with a candle. I was gonna kind of do one of those videos, but reading Nick's interview, it's kind of scary. So get ready for that. And I'm really glad you guys are here. I hope you had a good time. I can't stop laughing about Gypsy's podcast. My hands are so cold, I'm freezing right now. My dog is probably a little popsicle out there.
So thank you for coming. Stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.
Oh, I'm lightheaded.
I'll see you next time.
Just Coast.
Will he come to the show?